Going on back again with severe weather coverage on April 11th, 2020. We do still have storms ongoing in the state. Although there was a brief tornado warning for around Hollis that has since been allowed to expire or was cancelled. I didn't quite see that. But we do have several storms still remaining in the area. So, in fact, they're just starting to make their way back into Oklahoma. So, with that being said, we're going to take a look around the radar. We're going to start off in the west, around Hollis, Gold, and East Duke. Right now, there's no tornado threat with any of these storms that I'm seeing immediately. But we do have a few supercells in effect occurring right now. And these can produce tornadoes at fairly quickly. They can spin up just like that. Especially with how this storm set up. It's almost a QLC. That's how it's set up right now. But right now there's no threat of a tornado right now. But we are seeing large hail and damaging winds. The warning is for golf ball sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. So definitely a stout supercell right there. And it will continue moving to the east at, see the speed on it, east at 35 miles per hour. So the storm speed since earlier today have gone down substantially. In fact, they just extended the warning. Great timing. Looks like still golf ball size hail 70 miles per hour. The storm slowed to 30 miles per hour. So still be on the lookout if you're in Aldous, Olustee, Marfa, Blau, East Duke. Be sheltering where you should be for severe weather. Definitely could produce a tornado again. Right now it's not seeing a signature like it will immediately, but again it doesn't take that long. So now I'll take a look at this El Dorado storm moving in. But this one near Chilios actually looks like it will be the main show. Ping pong ball size hail 60 miles per hour, so it's just starting to ramp up. And we'll animate this so everyone can see it. You can see the East Duke storm starting to intensify. Chilios storm is recycling. I wouldn't call it weakening right now. Something we will definitely have to keep a lookout on. One thing to notice is now storm motion is east. Storms are starting to move more right than they were earlier. So just something to keep a mental note of. These storms are right splitting. So what we'll do now is we will go to the graphics. Give me just a second to get them pulled up here. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. And I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. We still do have an enhanced risk area in southwestern and western Oklahoma. Again, for hail and wind and tornadoes. Not much. It hasn't changed since earlier today. So we'll go ahead and throw up this threat graphic. Up to 80 mile per hour winds. Most storms will struggle to get up to 70. But 80 miles per hour cannot be completely ruled out. Up to baseball size hail and a moderate risk of weaker tornadoes less than EF2. Huge tornadoes with this, they aren't impossible, but right now it just doesn't look in the cards. And really not a huge flooding risk with this evil. So again, everything's in southwestern Oklahoma. That's going to be the bullseye of today. It's not a stout bullseye, but it's still a bullseye. We'll move back to look at some of the data coming in. Pull up this satellite. you can, as we're about to lose it before too much longer, but you can see storms are starting to cover much of western Oklahoma, southwestern Oklahoma, and much of northwestern Texas. So we do see these storms kind of starting to take shape of where they will be at. Not seeing much in the way of upward siege in the clouds right now, but that can definitely change. So we'll move back here and look at, okay, they've issued a mesoscale discussing concerning a tornado warning extension possibly. The severe weather threat for the tornado watch continues. That's the counties in southwestern Oklahoma. Continues and will gradually extend eastward. With time, a new weather watch will likely be needed to include North Texas in the next hour or so. I imagine that can include a few counties in Oklahoma as well. Just have to see what they put out. This was issued about an hour ago, in fact, so it should be coming soon. Storms are increasing at this time in southeast portions of the Texas Panhandle, where large hail potential is evident in the short term. Meanwhile, a few supercell storms are moving eastward across North Texas, northwest of Abilene, along with attendant severe weather risk. With these storms beginning to approach eastern fringes of the watch, a new weather watch will likely be east of the existing one. Okay, so that's just a long-winded saying they are going to extend the watches. Still, right now, the tornado watches arrival are for southwestern Oklahoma. Till 10 p.m. Likely, counties will be chopped off as needed and added as needed. Just have to wait and see what they do. I do expect a tornado watch to be issued soon for a couple more counties in Oklahoma. We'll just see what they come out with. So what we'll do now is we'll go through and look at what's called a mesoscale analysis. Just gives us a look at what's going on in the atmosphere. What do I want? Let's see. Some of these maps get confusing, so I'm not going to try to explain it. Lapse rate, which is basically one of the parameters we look at for ability to convect, are having fairly high values. So the lower the lapse rate, the less the temperature is decreasing with height. So this means there's an enhanced risk of storms. Enhanced vertical velocity, which is basically how high the storms go, and the higher the storms go, generally the more intense they will be. Basically, they can tap into what's above the cap. Storm height, so what we call LCL, lifted condensation level, so basically the bottom layer of the cloud, that's going to be at about 750 meters above the Earth's surface. So back of the envelope calculation, about 2,200 feet above the ground. Not terribly close to the ground, but not far off as either. So just something that we will have to be on the lookout for, see if these decrease as time goes on. I'm just trying to find some good explanation tools. This updates every few minutes with the latest model runs and latest surface data as it comes available. So this is the effective seal or atmospheric ability to turn. Generally, these solid blue contours are where we say, okay, there's enough seal to sustain a storm's life. Without seal, you won't get a storm being able to sustain its life. I can explain this later, but it's a little bit complex. So I'll save that for later on. SR8 storm's ability to spin will continue seeing high effective SR8s, especially in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, this is where the highest tornado threat will be. It's definitely in Texas where these storms are starting to move into. There'll definitely be some more tornadoes that form downhill. So if you have family in central Texas, north central Texas, definitely need to be on the lookout for that. Low level SR8 isn't as impressive. But we are seeing a positive SR8 change. So what that means is the atmosphere's ability to spin is increasing. So we're going to keep getting more seal. And what's causing this is the atmospheric low level jet. So it basically kicks in and adds spin to these storms. And the more spin you have, the higher risk you have of a tornado. Okay, that's that. Yeah, again, all the combined parameters, which is just a quick and easy way for us to see where the highest threats are, continue to be in southwestern Oklahoma and northwestern Texas. And we're continuing to see a surge of moisture from the Gulf up to the area, so we'll continue to see these storms have plenty of moisture to work with. Okay, what we'll do is we will go back to the radar and have a quick update on how these storms are doing. This is interesting. We're getting an embedded supercell in this kind of cluster. It's almost a QOCS, but I hesitate to call it that. But basically, we are seeing the supercell shape right there. So if we'll continue to see large hail damaging winds out of this, and if we see this area start to tighten up a little bit more, we'll start to be monitoring an increase in tornado risk. The same we'll have to keep an eye on. Again, this is for East Duke, Martha, Blair, Altus, Olustee, eventually Hedrick and Snyder, and Mountain Park. I want to say Mountain View. Don't know why. And then this storm to the south, it's a bit weaker right now, but it's just now starting to move into a more favorable environment. This is for El Dorado, and then Quanah, Texas, and eventually Chillicothe, Texas. We'll continue to monitor this as it will eventually cross the Red River into Oklahoma as it continues to move east. Right now, these storms up in northwestern Oklahoma are not severe right now. We will continue to monitor them in case they do become severe, as we'll loop through here and I'll let you see how they grow. Again, they're just starting to form, so early on in their life, they're just trying to get their footing, they're learning to walk before they can run. So we'll just keep an eye on this and see how they develop up here. These are really the first storms of the day up here in northwestern Oklahoma. So definitely an untapped atmosphere. So just something we'll have to keep on the lookout now. And we'll again look out here. Nothing else in the Texas Panhandle. You can see the beginning of a front boundary. Yeah, it looks like a front dry line moving through the Texas Panhandle. So this will kind of cause lift for these storms if it progresses fast enough. But basically, it's going to give us a western boundary on where storms will develop. So as this moves eastward, that's good news. We'll see lesser storm areas for storms just start popping up again. And you can kind of see these storms are kind of forming right along the line, that boundary. So if we take it from sorry about that. But if we take that outflow line down here, there we go. That's kind of what's causing these storms to form out here. So definitely something we have to be on the lookout for as these storms start to develop. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat right now. Again, we're just continuing to monitor storms. Figured I needed to break in and give y'all an update. Thanks, Paul. Just trying to provide information to the Oklahomans, fellow Oklahomans, just so we can all stay safe together through this. Again, we're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So we have 4 different platforms that we currently support, and you can get our live stream from anyone that you prefer. I'll continue to monitor these throughout the night, so we'll definitely continue to have updates here. I may pop in and out. I still have to cook dinner, so yeah. But I'll definitely pop in if anything's needed, as needed. We are starting to see this correlation coefficient drop with this storm down near moving towards Olustee, south of East Duke. This is generally a sign that there's something non-meteorological in the atmosphere. I'm not saying it's a tornado right now, but definitely interesting. Now I'll have to look into that a little bit more. We'll monitor that and see what happens. Looks like it's a hell spike. Yeah. Which is meteorological, but we'll continue to storms up in western Oklahoma. No, northwestern Oklahoma again. Just gain, storms in northwestern Oklahoma are just getting their footing. Where am I? Yeah, we want California. No, we don't. You can see this Woodward storm is still continuing to ramp up fairly quickly, getting a few lightning strikes in it, getting a nice little core developing in it. We'll continue to see how this develops. This is going to be a storm worth watching. While the tornado threat isn't as high up here, it's not impossible. So something that we'll have to continue to be on the lookout for. Alright, if nobody has any questions, I'm going to hop off of here while continuing to monitor these storms very closely, especially this one around East Duke. Right now, not seeing anything expressly concerning right now, so, which is good. We are seeing that still inflow and outflow of the storm, so it's still breathing. Doesn't look quite as intense as the course we saw earlier. It's probably getting cut off by some energy from this line, so we'll see if that's enough to kind of save us a little bit. Check out this storm. Down here in Texas, near Guthrie, Texas. Looks like it could be trying to get some act together. Probably won't affect Oklahoma. But definitely worth monitoring what these other storms do, as everything's kind of the same environment right now. A little bit better environment in Texas, but not by a whole lot. So we're just monitoring what things will form. So let's see. Yeah, nothing right now. Generally, when you look for an S in a reflectivity, that can indicate a QRCS type storm that may produce a tornado. Right now, it just isn't high enough to produce one. There's a little bit of meteorology behind that besides just the radar signature. It's what's behind the radar signature, but that's a topic for another day. Actually, I'll go ahead and explain it. So basically, this S, what we're seeing here, is an indication of mesocyclones. Just see what's going on. Basically, the atmosphere's ability to spin, counterclockwise motion, kind of bends the rain. So you kind of get an S-word shape here. Just kind of from the rotations in the storms themselves, they can spin and create this spin in the S. Obviously, this is kind of a lazy S at the moment. If it starts to increase the S curvature, that means we're getting a strong rotation, and definitely something we're going to have to watch out for coming up. But yeah, that's the story right now. Just figured I'd give you an update on these storms moving into Oklahoma and forming in Oklahoma. We did have a brief tornado warning earlier around this holler storm that has since went away. There is no tornado possible tag on that storm right now, but that doesn't mean it can't occur in the future. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. This one up near Woodward, heading east-northeast towards Winoka, Moreland, maybe at A-Rod, Tacoma, Abilene, Carmen eventually. Again, that's about a couple of hours out, but just something we'll have to keep an eye on. So thank you for listening. I'll cut in as necessary.